Welcome to Breaking Wire. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. I bet you didn't know just how fierce the global race for critical minerals has become. Welcome to Breaking Wire. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. On August 27, 2025, Zijin Mining Group, China's largest mining company, issued a chilling warning. The global race for critical minerals has entered a phase of high-intensity confrontation. This wasn't just a business forecast, it was a signal that the era of polite economic competition is over. Zijin, with vast overseas projects and record profits, highlighted unprecedented geopolitical risks, hinting at a shift in Beijing's strategy. The message was clear. Access to essential materials like copper, lithium, and rare earths is now a weapon in a global power struggle. The world was put on notice. These resources are no longer guaranteed. The warning followed a year of escalating US-China trade tensions, with both sides imposing massive tariffs. Just days before, President Trump threatened a 200% tariff on Chinese goods if Beijing restricted rare earth exports. Zijin's statement transformed abstract trade threats into a real crisis, signaling China's readiness to use its resource dominance as leverage. The world now faces a future where economic interdependence could be used for coercion, not cooperation. At the heart of this conflict is a multi-front battle for global dominance, fought in trade, technology, and security. The US raised tariffs on Chinese imports to 145%, prompting China's 125% retaliation, disrupting trillions in global trade. But it's not just about tariffs. The US has cut off China's access to advanced semiconductors, costing American firms billions, and fueling China's push for tech self-sufficiency. Chinese giants like Huawei have rebounded, driven by AI breakthroughs, as both sides see tech gains as zero-sum. China's near monopoly on rare earth minerals, crucial for everything from EVs to missiles, gives it a powerful bargaining chip. When Beijing hinted at export curbs, Western industries panicked, exposing deep dependencies. The US has responded with threats of its own, including withholding Boeing parts, creating a dangerous cycle of mutual vulnerability. Meanwhile, both nations are ramping up military posturing and building alliances, raising the risk of miscalculation. Diplomatic summits and security coalitions are forming, as each side seeks to shape the global order. The world is now caught in a combustible mix of economic, technological, and military rivalry. The US response has been a mix of hardline threats and cautious negotiation. President Trump's 200% tariff threat and grounding of Chinese planes show a willingness to use every tool available. Yet, a recent US court ruling declared most Trump-era tariffs illegal, opening the door to possible de-escalation. Behind the scenes, officials are exploring a chips for rare earths trade-off, recognizing mutual dependence. American industry is alarmed. Companies like Nvidia face huge losses, and supply chain uncertainty is rampant. Business leaders are torn between calls to decouple from China and the reality of deep economic ties. The public feels the pain: higher prices, market volatility, and growing anxiety about a wider conflict. The debate has shifted from trade deficits to the true cost of confronting China, economically and strategically. Washington is under pressure to find a stable path forward, but divisions run deep. The stakes are no longer just economic, they're about America's role in a changing world. The US-China conflict hits home for ordinary people worldwide. Tariffs act as hidden taxes, making everyday goods from smartphones to appliances more expensive. Disrupted supply chains threaten jobs and economic stability, with factories and tech firms feeling the strain. The fear of a global recession looms, as no country is immune to the fallout. Rising tensions also fuel global insecurity, forcing nations to divert resources from development to defense. The fight over rare earths jeopardizes the green transition, threatening progress on climate change. The world faces a stark choice: environmental goals or national security, each with lasting consequences. As the US and China clash, other nations scramble to avoid being caught in the crossfire. Southeast Asia faces US tariffs for its role in global supply chains, while Japan races to reduce rare earth dependency. Many countries try to balance economic ties with China and security alliances with the US, but the pressure to pick sides is mounting. China warns against siding with Washington, promising retaliation for those who do. Europe is divided. Germany clings to Chinese trade while others align with US security concerns, leaving the EU reactive and fragmented. The fear is global fragmentation: two rival blocs, each with its own rules and technologies. The old system of common trade rules is breaking down, replaced by a new era of great power rivalry. For nations in the middle, the risk is losing critical partners and being forced into impossible choices. The world order is shifting, and no one is immune to the consequences. The stakes, stability, prosperity, and the future of global cooperation. While Washington and Beijing trade threats, China is quietly building a new coalition. At a major summit in Tianjin, President Xi hosted leaders from Russia, India, and beyond, signaling a push for a multipolar world. Despite past disputes, China and India found common ground, while Russia deepened its strategic alignment with Beijing. China expanded partnerships with Armenia, and backed Myanmar's regional ambitions, weaving a web of influence across Asia. This summit was more than symbolism. It was a direct challenge to U.S. dominance and a bid to reshape the global order. China offers economic support and infrastructure investment, positioning itself as a reliable partner for developing nations. The message: China is not just reacting to U.S. pressure, it's proactively building a world aligned with its interests. Xi Jinping's warning marks a turning point. The world is at a crossroads. The era of open, apolitical supply chains is over. Resources and technology are now bargaining chips in a high-stakes game. If tensions escalate, the global economy could fracture into rival blocs, triggering recession and undermining cooperation on climate and health. The fragile truce between the U.S. and China is set to expire soon, with a critical summit looming. A chips for rare earths deal offers hope, but deep mistrust and political pressures make peace elusive. The risk of miscalculation is higher than ever, as both sides fight for their vision of the future. The world watches, hoping for pragmatism over nationalism. The outcome will define whether the 21st century is shaped by cooperation, or by a new era of great power conflict.